It seems the National Archives weren't allowed to say anything about the classified documents. You heard me right. The National Archives not allowed to say a word about the classified documents taken unlawfully by Joe Biden over many years, apparently. Remember how they pounded the drum about Trump's documents? They didn't say a word about the Biden docs, despite knowing about them as early as November 2nd. And despite that, they still put out press releases about Donald Trump, but not about Joe Biden. Isn't that weird? The new chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman James Comer, put it this way after speaking with the National Archives about all of it. Listen.
Well, right before the National Archives came in, they handed us a letter from the Department of Justice informing them and us that the General Counsel for the National Archives wasn't allowed to say anything about the Biden documents. But we went ahead and we had about a 3+ hour transcribed interview with the General Counsel. And what we learned was there is a double standard here with how Donald Trump was treated versus Joe Biden. And I'll give you an example, Sean. If you go on the National Archives website, there's pages and pages of press releases and information about the FBI's raid into Mar-a-Lago and Donald Trump's possession of classified documents. But there's nothing on the website about Joe Biden. There wasn't any press release or anything on the website about Joe Biden. So we asked the General Counsel, why were there no press releases sent on Joe Biden once it was determined that he had classified documents in his possession? And the counsel said that he did do press releases, but he was ordered and told they couldn't be published.
Uh-oh. That's going to be a problem because it poses a huge question, being this. Who told the National Archives not to publish those press releases? The National Archives, of course, won't say. Or said they couldn't say. But doesn't that sound like a cover-up to you? And remember, the cover-up always worse than the crime. This time, however, just before the midterm elections. The National Archives putting their thumb on the scale to impact the outcome of a national election. House races, Senate races, the balance of power, all out there to be decided, and the National Archives puts its thumb on the scale? By the way, the answer you're looking for is yes, they did. And like I said earlier, what happened to the worse than Watergate people? Because this is it. This is the big story they've been waiting for. But it seems the press, they're just not interested. I mean, we can't talk about that in the party tomorrow night. What will they say if we actually do the story? Will we get invited? Will we get hors d'oeuvres? Will we get kicked out? I mean, the things you have to consider if you're a news operative in Washington, D.C. these days. Listen, it's the media's job. It's the media's job to get to the bottom of these issues if the White House won't do it. But instead of trying to get the facts, the media is just whining that the president and his team aren't being transparent enough. Well, I have an idea. How about, you do your damn job. Do the actual work as journalists and get to the truth. We all know that's not going to happen. And if this story broke before the 2024 election, this would have been swept under the rug just like Hunter's laptop. Will we ever get actual transparency? Not when the people that are supposed to hold our leaders accountable to vet these people are unwilling to demand it. Well, I demand it. Honest journalists demand accountability. My friends, we're going to get it, one way or the other.